and thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. I'm going to be doing the Capricorn energy reading. As always, take what resonates, leave what does not, especially since this is a general reading. All right, we're going to get some cards here, see what's going on, see who needs to hear a message. Okay. Feel like one more. All right, so we have the Five of Cups, we have the Four of Cups, which is reversed. We have the Seven of Pentacles, and then we have the Queen of Swords. So for some reason, I feel like the colors of yellow and orange are really standing out for me. We have the Five of Cups where you're focusing on I almost feel like it's a realization within yourself and saying, it's you having to realize what is it that you're really focusing on. Like, I feel like it's like you're focusing on this Three of Cups. Like you're sad, you're upset, you're disappointed. You're always looking at the negative in situations. Again, take what resonates, leave what does not. As this does not resonate to you, that's completely fine. But sometimes I feel like we really need to take a deeper look within ourselves and say that when we react to something, do we judge? Like, be honest with yourself and say, if you see something or someone gets something or something happens for someone or you see something on social media, does your mind go to a negative place? Does something always seem to trigger you and put you in this energy here where you're feeling sad and where you're, really asking yourself, do I feel happy? Am I happy every day? Am I feeling positive? Do I feel like I can reach my goals? Or do I feel like I'm focusing on all of the negative things, especially this time of year, because there's a lot of holiday celebrations, but also we have our birthdays coming up because this is the Capricorn season and we're having our birthdays and we're wondering, oh, you know what? Sometimes it can be really exciting, but sometimes it can be, oh, another year went by. And I had really hoped that by this time I would have been doing this or I would have been doing that. And so we can start to get our heads into, oh, well, I didn't accomplish this and I didn't accomplish that. And I had all of these battles and I had all of these struggles this year. But really what we have to do is we kind of have to change that thought around. We have to flip it on its head and say, you know what? I need to, and then with this Seven of Pentacles, it's like taking a break and like really thinking about, okay, am I always focusing on the Three Spilled Cups? Am I missing opportunities because I'm so busy focusing on all of the negativity that I haven't even seen these two cups that were right behind me? It's like changing your direction, changing your perspective, right? That it just takes a little bit in order to see that what's behind you, what's around you. When you're so busy like having your head down and you're focusing on these three spilled cups here, and it's like flipping it on your head and starting to get interested and starting to think about, okay, what's the truth of the situation here? A lot of times we have to really look within ourselves and say, am I being the best version of myself? Am I surrounding myself with positive people, with, positive things in my life? Am I taking the extra time that I have? And am I using that wisely? Or am I just trying to numb myself? Am I just trying to forget everything, but then keep myself on the hamster wheel? And really looking within and finding that truth within yourself. And I feel like that's what the Queen of Swords is that she's someone who really looks within herself and says, you know what? I can do better. I can change these things. I can turn things around for myself to start looking at the positive that I have in my life. And I'll say something for me is I know that it's hard to understand this unless you're in the frame of mind of really wanting to change the way your life is. If you're not happy with the way things are, you have the power to change them. And you have to find kind of that guidance that helps you to change your life, your perspective. There's so many different ways to turn things around, but you have to find what works for you. Just because it may work for, thousands of other people, if it's not resonating with you, then that's not the path for you. And I feel like it's finding the path that works best for you. It doesn't mean you have to follow exactly what everyone else is doing. It's like what feels good for you, what turns things around for you. If it's a rainy, cloudy day, and normally you would feel kind of sad and kind of shut down, like what are those things, what works for you in order to be able to enjoy that rainy, cloudy day and still be positive and still feel good about things, right? That when you have challenges come along, that you're like, oh, okay, I see that you're here. I acknowledge that this happened, but I know I'm going to get through it. I know I'm going to get past it. I know I'm going to move on from it. And it's going to be okay, right? It's like what works for you. And that's what you need to focus on. And just kind of taking that pause and taking that break and say, you know what, I really need to be truthful with myself and say, you know what, I do kind of have my head down. I do focus on the negative. My first reaction to something is negative, or it's judgmental, or, and it's from a state of fear. It's from a state of anger, and realizing where you're coming from and realizing where are the areas that you need to focus on. All right, we have regeneration. And regeneration is about like recharging yourself. This, I feel like you're very tired. You feel very worn down. You feel like, oh, I don't even have the energy to move. I don't have the energy to do anything. It's too hard to make changes. It's too hard to write all these things down. It's too hard to do this. It's so easy to find excuses not to do something. But you can't get mad at yourself, and you can't get frustrated with the fact that things don't change for you if you don't make the effort to change them. If you don't make the effort to regenerate yourself and to empower yourself and to rebuild yourself and to look at things from a different perspective and say, these are the things that I need to work on. You can't control other people. And that's why I'm saying is that you have to look within yourself and say, what can I change about me, about my perspective, about how I'm spending my time, about who I'm spending my time with. Those things you can control. Those are the things that you do have power over. What are you going to accept? What are you not going to accept? Are you always, it's a brief amount of time that you're in this, looking at this 3 cups, and then you turn things around to look at the 2 cups? Or is it you're spending days or weeks in this 3 cups, 3 spill cups energy? All right, let's grab, we have number 2, we have the antelope spirit, life is speeding up. I feel like now is the time for change. I feel like that's what that represents. Now is the time to regenerate. That it's also when I was also kind of getting the messages, you know how when you're on vacation and you're having a really great time, or you're at a get-together with people that you really enjoy, or you're doing a hobby, or you're doing something that you really enjoy, and it feels like life is speeding up because you're having so much fun and you're not looking at time and you're not even thinking about it. Like you're in the moment and you're just enjoying it. And it just seems like time doesn't exist. But when you do look at time, you're like, wow, it's just gone by so quickly. Because you're not focusing on that. You're not like dragging a sleigh of bricks behind you. Like you're not trying to push a boulder uphill, right? That you're just feeling free. You're enjoying the moment. Like you're in this energy of this sense of freedom and peacefulness and just enjoying your life and enjoying things that, and you're rebooting yourself, right? And you feel energized and you're like, wow, I feel so good. I haven't felt this much energy in, I haven't felt this much energy in a long time. And so it's just like kind of looking at that and saying, when you enjoy life, it's like life goes by quicker. But I also feel like it's time is still going by. It always goes by at the same time. But it's like, Do you want to spend your time focusing on this, or do you want to spend your time focusing on that? So I feel like it's your choice, right? It's your choice. And it's about saying, I want to spend my time regenerating myself, rebuilding myself, being in a positive energy, being in a positive state of mind. And that's how I want to spend my time. We all have the power to choose where it is that we want to spend our time and what we're doing. All right, so I got these new cards. They're the Mystic Forest Oracle cards, and I really like these. I've only used them a couple of times, so we're going to close out with one of these. All right, that one kind of went sideways. Ha, that's a good one. That goes perfect with this reading. It says, what do you want? And that's, I feel, where this Queen of Swords, that's perfect for these two, because it's like taking that time to think things through and really looking deep within your inside yourself and saying, what do I really want? If you react negatively to the success and joy of others, it's a sign that you want more for yourself. Don't hold yourself back. Expand your comfort zone. So I think that's what I was saying earlier, is how do you react to things? I can't remember if this reading or the other reading, but it's also about like, if you're feeling like if you're spending so much time on these 3 spilled cups, you're not going to be able to spend time on creating the world that you want. And you're going to be holding yourself back. What do you want in your life? Do you want this type of life where you feel like it's like life is speeding up and that it's enjoyable and like you can accomplish anything and things are happening for yourself and you're, regenerating yourself, you're taking care of yourself, that you're more mindful of where your mind is focusing, that you're focusing on all of the positive things that you have, all the things that you have going for you. And something that I did today is I was talking to myself and I was reminding myself of all of the obstacles that I've gone through in my life. I'm reminding myself of all of the challenges that you've been through and how it's like keep going and keep pushing and you've come so far. Sometimes we forget those, right? Because sometimes they were challenges that were really hard for us. And so we just kind of want to put those behind us. But I do feel that there are times where we need to remind ourselves of the challenges that we've been through and how far that we've come, and to not give up on yourself and to really, and keep asking yourself, what do you really want? And those can change. It can change from year to year. It can change from 6 months to 6 months. And it can be something that like you don't have to be stuck with something, and realize that when you set your mind to it, that you can do whatever you want. You have to figure out what it is that you want. What does your life look like, right? What do you want, right? Do you want to be able to let this go? Do you want to be able to focus on what's important to you? Do you want to, right? You have to figure that out. And then that's your answer as to what you need to focus on and what you need to have happen. All right, I hope that made sense. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I wish you the best on your journey.